Hey guys, Tyler here with Weights and Redemption, and this vlog is going to be about how if I can do it, anybody can. And what I mean by that is, no matter who you are, we all have struggles, we all have shortcomings, we all fail, we all trip and stumble to our knees, we all fall flat on our face at times, and yours truly is no exception. Lord knows I have had my fair share of mistakes, and I have definitely hit my bottom. The worst bottom I hit was many years ago whenever my drinking just went through the roof. It transitioned into drug abuse, and I mean, I was just out there. Looking back now that the dust has settled and the smoke is cleared, I mean, I was a fool for several years, and I thought that I was maintaining, I thought that I was being normal, and nobody knew, but I think everybody knew. Everybody knew that I had a problem, except me. But eventually I did crash and burn. And I did several months in jail. I had to go to a court-mandated rehab. Doctors classified me as a polysubstance abuser, meaning that pretty much whatever drug is around, I will do it. I don't necessarily have a drug of choice. I did have a drug of choice. I really liked speed. But if that wasn't available, I would do whatever. It really didn't matter to me as long as I was just numbing myself. And eventually, when I was in rehab, I worked the 12 steps and I learned about myself. I learned about my defects of character. And then just over time, a day at a time, I started doing just positive practices, and which I still do today. I write, I journal, I write this blog site now. I try to do prayer and meditation. I work out regularly. I try to do all these things to keep me channeled in a positive way. And yeah, my life is not perfect, and I'm not perfect. God knows I still make mistakes. I've made stupid mistakes over the years. Everybody does. But I don't go and just get inebriated. I don't run to alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't go get fucked up whenever I make a mistake in life. I just handle it. And I just try to correct it to the best of my ability, and I take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and eventually, man, I can work myself through it. And I learn, and that's the main thing. We're all going to mess up, but the main thing is you learn from it, and you grow from it, and you rebuild yourself from it. And that's what I'm really wanting to hit home with this vlog. If I can do it, anybody can, because God knows I am nobody special, man. You hear all these messages by, all these just hoity-toity people about turning your life around, and man, I am just an everyday dude just like you are. I am nobody special. I have crashed and burned, and I have made some bad choices. I have let my children down. I've let myself down, and dude, it sucks. And if I'm able to rebuild myself, I know anybody can do it. And is my life perfect these days? No, it's not. And have things played out exactly how I've wanted them to? No, they haven't. But my life is pretty good, and I'm very well aware of that. I've got my son lives with me. I've got a good job. I've got a good house. I get to do this stuff on the side. Could my life be better? Well, yeah, of course it could. But could it be worse? You're damn right it could be. And I understand that, and I think that's what it's all about, is accepting where you are and realizing where you are, and always striving to be a better version of yourself, but to be grateful of the journey and where you've come from. And truth be told, as far as my day-to-day life goes, my past is not who I am. My mistakes that I've made or my substance abuse, it practically rarely ever gets brought up in my day-to-day living. It's not a part of me. I have just grown from it so much, and I've got so much time under my belt. But I talk about it in these blogs and in these vlogs, hoping that it will reach somebody who's maybe going through the same thing, or who is heading in the same direction that I was all those years ago. And maybe it might reach them. They might see this, and it might kind of wake them up, and they won't have to learn the hard way like I did. Some people got to just fall flat on their face before they get a wake-up call. I'm one of those jackasses. But there's a lot of people that just learn from other people's story. And so that's why I'm always talking about the recovery, and I'm talking about the motivational pieces, just to try and push people in the right direction. And that's why I'm adamant about weightlifting. It's more than just the physical attributes, although they are really cool, I'm not going to lie. But it's just about doing positive things that make you feel good about yourself. And like I said, it's whatever that makes you feel good about yourself. As long as it's positive, as long as it's not self-sabotaging, like burying your sorrows or drowning your sorrows in alcohol and drugs, man. That's not a good channel. All that does is just suppress that shit, and then it ends up just coming out eventually in a volatile manner, and it just makes a bad situation worse. So remember, no matter what's going on in your life, if you're going on a downward spiral for whatever the reason, every day is a new day to turn your life around and start heading in a different direction.